Can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So, should we start?
Yes, thanks.
Perfect. Great. So, hello everyone. Looks like I'm gonna close the fantastic DrupalCamp Manila 2020. Thank you for having me here, and thank you for organizing it, even though the current situation. So I guess it's a really good initiative, to continue, with the conferences, even if it's in a virtual mode. But still, we can share knowledge and continue engaging with the community. So this is pretty good experience. So today we're going to talk about something that I call dynamic responsive universal process automation logic. That is not a coincidence. That is actually the acronym of Drupal. I'm going to introduce myself quickly. I'm Ruben Tejero. At the moment, I'm doing networking, actually. I connect free minds. So I really like to interact with people from different open source communities. And I really like to talk to the people, meet them, and understand, their feelings and their to know with their interests and what they want to do in their life and knowing their career paths and so on. So I've been working for almost 10 years in Drupal. I'm also co-founder of an agency, a Drupal agency in Sweden, with our headquarters in Stockholm. I'm also acting as a CTO of Doctors Huren, is a company in Sweden as well, and CTO of Free Your Mind Experience, that is a company here in Spain that they do surf and kite surfing experiences in Spain, Morocco, even now in Sri Lanka and Brazil. You can follow me at Tejero or even at Drupal_heroes. You want to, see some tweets about Drupal and about the stuff I'm working on lately. So quickly, Drupal is a company where we do digital experiences from digital transformation to any kind of complex digital software. So please have a look at the website if you want to see a little bit more what we are doing in my company. We are also starting a program about code, surf, and learn down here in Spain where I'm living. So soon, when when this virus crisis is over, we will open the door so you can just come for a bootcamp, 2 months, where you can just enjoy the sun, the beach, learn surfing, yoga, and also full stack web development, mobile application development, even data science. I'm gonna share more information about this soon. So actually we are hiring, so you can also go to our careers website, and then you will find some job openings, few of them related to Drupal. You can also contact me if you are looking for new job opportunities. Now we have, with the current situation, we have some remote jobs as well available. So just give me a shout if you are looking for new opportunities. Okay, coming back to the dynamic responsive universal process automation logic. So quickly, I'm gonna introduce the 2 concepts, so dynamic responsive and universal. So this is something that I was working on in the past months, and it's actually a new trend, or let's say a new revamp or change in some graphical interfaces. So I noticed that the Drupal the interface has not changed lately, and when you analyze other softwares out there that are really on high demand, and also they are like pretty much pretty much useful in an enterprise context. So you can see, you can identify a pattern, you know, in these user interfaces. One of the examples is Odoo. I don't know if you know Odoo. This is an open source software that is, let's say, it's an ERP. Let's say that this is like an CRM with other, you know, HR, accounting, and a lot different applications that they have. They're all interconnected, and more or less all the applications share more or less the same pattern in their interface. That is using tabular visualization of the data, but also let's say Kanban visualization with these boards where you have columns, and also you have the cards that you can drag and drop in different stages. Okay, so you can switch quickly from the tabular visualization, as you can see in the animation, and you can just automatically generate filters and even graphics from the data itself. So if you haven't seen Odoo, I recommend to have a look. I remember that we were discussing about this before. So another software that I noticed that is starting to be popular, a part of Monday.com, probably you already know, is Airtable. And it's actually the same. I mean, they have different visualizations of the data. One is with the Kanban board, another is like more or less like Monday.com, that is like a tabular, but they also have a visualization in a calendar. So for any kind of entity that is related to a date, you know, it's so yeah, the same. This is not open source; it's a proprietary solution, but more or less the interface is pretty user friendly and much engaging with the users. PipeDrive is like a CRM. It's also proprietary, and they also use exactly the same concept of Kanbans, but they are more focused in the sales pipeline related to, you know, to the CRM. So they have a lot of automatic calculations and so on. But still, you can see that the how you visualize the data is is totally different how we do it in Drupal. So this is like a new level of you know, of interfaces or UX. One of the software that we are currently using in our company is Team Tailor. It's a Swedish startup. So this is a specific software for hiring. So exactly, it works exactly the same with these Kanban boards where you have different stages like inbox, reviewing, or interview. And you can see also the information in a tabular way, as you can see in the top right image. Yeah, so the same is this is a proprietary solution as well, but you know, it's not pretty much different from the pattern that you notice. It's more or less visualizing the data in a more easy way than just simply in long lists like we are using in Drupal, right? So coming to the second part of the concept, process automation logic. So one of the key things these days is automation, right? So we are performing a lot of manual tasks, you know, constantly, which requires time and requires manpower. So the thing is, you know, there are a lot of things that we can automate here. So why not we do it in Drupal? So quickly, I did my research, and then I found some decision flow builders in some software out there as well. For example, you know, the Zapier, right? For Zapier for interconnection. This is a proprietary solution as well that allows you to connect different platforms. You can even connect Drupal with Facebook, or, you know, or with Twitter, even automate stuff with Slack, like you know, any kind of event that you do in Drupal, you can trigger it in Slack. You can use it for, for marketing automation or for other different purposes. So Zapier is a good example of automation, and a lot of companies, I know that they are using it, and a lot open source softwares out there are always supporting Zapier integrations, because that opens a lot of different options out there, right? So as long as you have an integration with Zapier, then you can just integrate with all the stuff that Zapier integrates with. So one of the softwares that I was pretty impressed with is Node-RED. Node-RED is specific for IoT, but that doesn't mean that we can just have some cool ideas from how it works. So you can see how you just have some elements that you can connect in different ways, and what they do is they follow a flow, and they automate some different actions. And in this way, you can even perform HTTP requests or WebSockets. You can just connect your software with any other third party, triggering actions and sending requests and so on. So as I say, this is much specific for IoT, but still it makes sense, in some contexts. So if you haven't seen Node-RED, I just suggest that you have a look. It's open source. I guess it's based on Node.js, and it's pretty much stable. So yeah, give it a try if you have a chance. Then Soho is a CRM where they have some workflow automations as well. So you can create some, flows where you just decide when this happens, then trigger this. If you match this condition, then trigger these actions. So this is more or less where I got some inspiration from. Meaning that, in Drupal, there is a lot of stuff that we are missing regarding automation, right? So Soho, I don't remember if this is still open source. I guess they have some open source plan, but I don't remember. I missed their latest license. But yeah, but as I said, they have really cool ideas in their interfaces. So yeah, they connect even with webhooks, So yeah, it's a good idea, and also the way they visualize the workflow automation is a pretty user friendly, right? And one of the ones that I really like is Mautic. I don't know if you are aware that Mautic was acquired by Akia recently, and Mautic is an marketing automation software, and is fully open source. It's built in PHP, and the next release of Mautic is going to be really good. They are refactoring all the code base, adding Symfony components, supporting the latest version of Symfony. And this is a screenshot of their campaign builder, meaning that you can just create this decision tree, where you have some conditions. If you match the condition, then it will go for one of the branches of the tree. If the condition is not matched, then it will go to the other branch. And then you can automate the actions. Like, for example, here is just sending emails. It also monitors if the email is open or not. Then you can submit another email later on or not, or you can even remove the user from the, let's say, newsletter subscription or something like that, right? So for me, Mautic is the software that inspired me more, to do this presentation, and also to move forward with the improvements that we are trying to bring into a Drupal ecosystem these days. So what about Drupal CRM? So as you can see, I'm focusing a little bit more into CRM software. It's because lately I'm not that much involved in coding, and also in more deeper technical solutions, but I'm more involved into the enterprise way of consuming software. So for me, Drupal is one of the best pieces of software for the enterprise world, because of the capabilities that it has to adapt and integrate with any enterprise solution. So in this case, one of the missing parts of Drupal, at least in the version 8, is a proper CRM. You know that we have a lot, different solutions out there. There was a couple, I guess, of CRM for Drupal 7, but for Drupal 8, we don't have a stable CRM at the moment. There were some initiatives out there, running, but they got stuck somehow. So yeah, so at the moment it's like this is a greenfield project for a lot of people. So I've been discussing with the maintainers of the CRM for Drupal 7. I've been talking a lot about what is the future of Drupal in the CRM ecosystem. This is my personal initiative, or this is my take in how I visualize that CRM may be implemented in Drupal, right? So we call it Amoeba CRM, and the meaning of Amoeba is because, as you may know, an Amoeba is just let's say an entity that adapts, to the environment, right? It just changes its shape and tries to adapt to the different situations. So our CRM, Amoeba, it also adapts to our customers' ecosystem, meaning that we are not enforcing the customer to use Amoeba. What we do is we integrate with the customer ecosystem or a portfolio of applications. And Amoeba, what it does is consumes the data, and our customers can use Amoeba to perform other actions that they are not allowed, or they can't do with their current software, right? So the Amoeba CRM was developed in first instance by the Ninja Coders. Ninja Coders is a Drupal shop in Romania. They are from Cluj, where the latest, where the last Drupal Dev Days was held. This is a young team. It's a young and diverse team. They're really smart, and they embrace the development of Amoeba CRM from day one. And they are open sourcing all the code. And they are supporting us with all our sales cases and with all our customer projects. So they're really, really a nice team. So and as I say, they have open source software in their DNA. So what the current integrations for Amoeba, so these are the ones that we work because of some requirements from customers and so on, but this doesn't mean that they're going to be the only ones. So we are continuously releasing new integrations. At the moment, we can integrate with Mautic, meaning that we can sync the data from Mautic into Amoeba, and the other way around, from Amoeba into Mautic. Also, we integrate with Sweet CRM. That is the former Sugar CRM, is a fork of Sugar. Where, remember when, Sugar was acquired by a private company, and they decided to discontinue the community version of Sugar CRM. So the community standed up and then they forked it out, and they created Sweet CRM, which means that it's more actively maintained by the community, and it's a pretty much, for me, it's complex CRM, but it's really complete. Amoeba CRM integrates with Sweet CRM, meaning that we can sync data back and forth from Sweet CRM into Drupal, right? Salesforce, I guess I don't really have to talk about Salesforce because it's a pretty much well-known CRM. It's a proprietary solution, terribly expensive, and some of our customers, if I say some, but a lot of our customers are currently using Salesforce. So one of the key things is to maintain data synchronization between Salesforce and Amoeba CRM. And the latest addition is Team Tailor, is the software that we are using, and we really needed to keep the data synchronized, because of the candidates pool that we have when we are doing the hiring process. Then we really want to keep that data in Amoeba CRM. So these are 4 examples, but as I said, we are going to have more samples in the future. So quickly, what is the UI, the look and feel of Amoeba at the moment? Okay, so we decided to base it in a contributed module. It's called Content Planner. So Lucas Fisher, I met him in DrupalCamp a few years ago, and then I was discussing with him, because this is a really good idea of how you can visualize content in Drupal, but not only because of the visualization. This example, for example, is a calendar, meaning that when you have the content scheduler module activated, meaning that you can automate when a content entity can be published or unpublished. Not only that, it is integrated with the workflow module, so meaning that you can just change not only from published to unpublished, but also different workflow states. So there you can just visualize it in a calendar, meaning that a piece of content is going to change the workflow state in this specific date. And you can see that it has a pretty much easy to use drag and drop interface. So this is one of the pieces, but this is the one that I really like the most. That is the visualizing your content in a Kanban board, meaning that when you create a piece of content and you have the workflow core module enabled for your content entities, let's say that you have 3 states for your workflow, like it's draft, publish, and archive. So you can visualize them immediately in this Kanban board, meaning that in a pretty much one single side, you will see which contents you have published and which of them are draft or archive, instead of having this long list that in the admin content page, where you have to filter down, So this kind of visualization, I really like it, and this inspired me to to work actively in this kind of interface for Amoeba. So as I said, all this is based in the workflows module. So this is a screenshot of a real installation of Amoeba CRM that you're going to see later on in the demo. Or for Amoeba, we created a specific workflow that is, as we call it, sales pipeline. And you can see the different states of this workflow are contact, and then you have a lead, then you have engage, or the contact is under negotiation, it becomes a customer, and then under that, after that, it is on servicing state, right? So these are the columns of our Kanban board, and as I say, you can just drag and drop and move a contact from one state to the other. You can use the filters on the top. I mean, it's a pretty simple interface at the moment, because we don't really want to add any overhead, because every customer that we have, they have their own specific needs. So we don't really want to add a lot of overhead and make this more complex to adapt to any customer needs. These workflows are really easy to be changed, so you can just create your own. You only have to go to the workflow configuration. As I said, it's a core module, meaning that you just enable it in your default Drupal 8 installation, and then you can start to create your own states. You can see there, there's exactly the same columns that you notice in the Kanban board, And if you generate a new state, your Kanban board is going to be updated automatically. So if you remove or add more states, the content Kanban will be automated. Another thing is like for custom entities, your custom entities, the default content planner module was not working. It was working only for content entities created by Drupal. But if you generate your own custom entity by code, then content planner was not working. So we sent a couple of patches that Lucas merged, and now it's working properly. So if you have your own custom entities with the specific workflows, content Kanban is gonna content planner is gonna fetch them properly, and you can visualize your states properly. So I don't know if you just work with workflow before, so I'm gonna explain it anyways. So you know that every workflow state has transitions, right? So you can just transition from contact to lead, or from lead to engage, or back to back to contact. So these are the states, or the transition state transitions that you can create. We created just the simple ones to move from left to right and then back to the beginning, but you can just create your own. And then we call them, like as you can see there, create lead, contact, send to Mautic, send to Salesforce, for demo purposes. Okay, so I'll show you more later on. Quickly, every transition is where they have the automation or the actions. I'm gonna show you later. So inside the transition is where the automation happens. Okay. So yeah, so regarding the automation, when you go to any specific transition, for example, this is the send to Mautic transition, you can see that it goes from the state lead or engage, and it goes to engage, meaning that your contact is in lead and then you move it to engage. Then this transition will trigger an action that you can see in the small box down there. And you can see that you can select an action. It's supposed that you can select multiple actions, but we have a little bug there, so I'm not gonna demo that. But in the future, when we solve this small bug, you will be able to submit different actions, selecting them from there, right? So yeah. So every action can be created from the actions module. It's a core module, and actually it's a module that is not actively used, and I don't really know why. When we have some kind of automation by default in Drupal core, but it's not used at all. We have some of them by default, that is send an email, publish content, or something like that, but I haven't seen so many projects using actions actively. So why we decided to use actions is because it's in core, so it's going to be easier to maintain. It's fully integrated with the rest of the core modules and so on. And the other option for me was the rules module, but it was not stable when we started with this. We were looking for something quick and dirty to get started. But I don't discard to change this. But at the moment, it works and it's pretty much easy to use. So you can just create a new action there, and that action will appear in the trigger for the transition, right? That you see. So if you create an action here, you will see it in the drop down, the selection there for the triggers. Okay. So it's pretty straightforward. So I guess I should jump into the demo, and then it's gonna be more easy for you to follow what I was explaining, right? So give me a sec, because I don't know if the demo is gonna work well. Let me see. Can you see my screen still, right? It's the first time that I do this keynote thingy. So hopefully you still can see this, right?
Yep, I can still see your screen.
Perfect. So this is a default Drupal 8 installation with Amoeba CRM module installed. Let me give you a quick walkthrough what is Amoeba and what it does. So when you install Amoeba CRM, you have two default entities, contacts and companies. Let me create a new contact now for demo purposes. Okay. So I'm gonna create is DrupalCamp Manila, and let's do it this way. This is for the demo purposes, and I'm not gonna add more stuff. So I just created my new contact. I call it DrupalCamp Manila, and it's here. If you go again to content, Amoeba CRM, you see the contacts, and it's here, right? Perfect. So let's go to Content Planner. This is the other module that comes by default. When you install Amoeba CRM, we install Content Planner. Something I like from Content Planner is the dashboard. By default, it tells you which are the contacts that you have, in which status they are. So these are the workflows. I'm gonna go to that later on. You have some Kanban activities when you move a car from one place to another. This is the calendar that I said. Here you can just create at the moment tasks. This is also coming from the Amoeba CRM, but I'm not gonna demo this because it's not the part that I want you to see. So the content Kanban is where I want you to have a sneak peek. So you can see the new contact that I created is here, the DrupalCamp Manila. You can see is by default when you create a new contact, it goes to the contact column, meaning that if you import data from Mautic, Suite CRM, or Salesforce, they will go immediately to the contact column. Okay, regarding that, I'm gonna show you quickly how is that done. I'm not gonna demo that part because it will take so long, but just for you to know, you can see Amoeba CRM has a Mautic importer, the Salesforce importer, and the Suite CRM importer. It has also a CSV importer, meaning that you can import data directly from an Excel spreadsheet or a CSV file. It's not enabled here, but it's as simple as just importing data from the CSV file, right? And quickly, the importers, you just import the consumer key and secret. Salesforce the same, and the Suite CRM the consumer key and the secret. So it works pretty much out of the box. You just put the public key and the secret, and it just you run the importer and just import your data directly, and it keeps the synchronization between the Mautic or Suite CRM or your integration and Amoeba CRM. Okay. Next part. So the next part is how these columns are created, right? A contact, lead, engage, and so on, how they are created. So as I mentioned, we are using workflow module. It's as I said, it comes with core, so you don't really need to install anything else. We generated a sales pipeline workflow where we have the different states you can see here. Every state has different transitions, and in every transition, for example, let's open the send to Mautic. I can select, which action I want. Even you can generate new actions from here. So this is the send to Mautic. This is the send the information to Salesforce. This is the send information to CRM, and you have also send an email to a contact. We have two options: is send an email to a specific contact or to a specific user. Okay, so what else? Actions. How you create the actions is here. in the actions configuration. So yeah, as you say, as I say, you can generate new actions. Like for example, these are the ones that coming from, some of them come from by default with the actions module from core, and some of them are automatically created by Amoeba CRM. So some, this add role to selected user, or change the author of the content, or redirect to URL, send email to contact or user. One of these, it comes from by default. Send an email, just, or unpublish the contact. So anyway, you can just create new ones, or you can configure the ones that comes with Amoeba. So at the moment, we don't have so much configuration. For example, for Mautic, we want to add segmentation, meaning that you can just send the contact to Mautic to a specific segment. But at the moment, we are still working on that. So for example, the send email to a contact, you can just change the text and the message, so these are the small configurations that you can do. For the send email to an user, you can decide which user, and these are more or less the testings that I have at the moment. So I guess this is all. I mean, this is so far but what you must do in order to have the automation. And now let's do it how it works. Okay, so for example, with the entity that I created, so let's say that I have a contact and now he becomes a lead. Then we have Dries as well, that he becomes a lead. And then let's say that we have Elon Musk, and yeah, so then becoming, so DrupalCamp Manila becomes engaged because I did this presentation, and then you are excited, and then you feel that you want to move forward. So we do a negotiation. Yeah, Dries watched the recording of this presentation, and he said, "Oh, this is beautiful." So he's also interested. Then we are under negotiation with Dries. Elon Musk is only engaged, but he's not interested in this business. Then DrupalCamp Manila, they decide to become a customer. So they move into the customer column. Dries becomes a customer because acquires Amoeba CRM. And in the end, we are into the servicing state with both DrupalCamp Manila and Dries, right? So after moving your entity on these stages, as I said, we went through from all these states. Let me come back to the actions. So I remind you, sorry. Let me come back to the transitions. So I remind you what we have done. So when we moved from contact to lead, we just created the contact, but there is no trigger, there is no action. When it goes from lead to engage, it sends the contact to Mautic. Then engage to negotiation, it sends the contact to Salesforce. For negotiation to customer, it sends the contact to Suite CRM. And after all, it sends the email to a contact. So we perform all these actions, meaning that our contacts should be at least in in Mautic, Salesforce, Suite CRM, and also in email. So before showing you if that worked, I had to trigger cron because cron is running every, I don't know, 5 minutes, but I don't want to wait. So I'm going to run cron manually for demo purposes. So running cron quickly. Taking a little bit. I hope that is not crashing. Perfect. Okay, so this is my instance, Mautic instance. You can see that there is no Dries or there is no DrupalCamp here. I'm gonna refresh. And you see that is even Elon Musk is here, Dries is here, and DrupalCamp Manila is here. Suite CRM, you can see that there is no, there are hundreds of users, but they're ordered by the day created. So you can see that the latest is some tests that I did before the demo. And now you can see that the DrupalCamp Manila is here and Dries is here. but Elon Musk is not here. Why? Then we can come back to the content Kanban and we see that because Elon Musk is here, okay? And the latest, but is the email. So let me go here, refresh. It's not working, the email. Okay, let me see if I miss any of the steps. Anyway, let me, as I said, Elon Musk is not in the suite CRM, so let me move it to the next stage, negotiation, customer, and then, okay, the email is sent when I move people to servicing. You can see that they are not in servicing for some reason. So let me move it to servicing, DrupalCamp Manila to servicing as well, and Elon Musk to servicing. Let me refresh to see if they are stored properly. Yeah, now they're stored properly. Okay, so let me run the Chrome quickly. I hope that you are following the demo. It's not a mess. Okay, let me run quickly the Chrome again. Yeah, run is there. And we remember that let me refresh here. So it's still Elon Musk, okay? And now Elon Musk should appear here. Yeah, you have it there. And now it should work. The email should have been triggered, right? This is not my email, this is my email. It's not working, what the hell? Okay, something is going on with the email. I'll check it out later, but almost half of the demo work. Okay, so let me give it a last try and see why it's not working, the email. Just quickly, I don't want to waste your time, but I want to quickly see why the email is not working to see if I miss one of the steps. So we say that it's a customer to servicing. It sends the email to a contact. It sends the email to an user. Okay, the problem is it's sending the email to the super admin, and which is the email. Okay, it's not my email. Okay, good. Let me change this email quickly. So, yeah, go back to my, and I'm gonna do the latest. So let's take Ada Lovelace through the whole process. It's servicing. Let me refresh to be sure that, yeah, Ada is here. Okay, last try, okay? So wish me luck with this one. So I run Chrome. Okay, so hopefully Ada will appear here. So it's imported in Mautic automatically. It's imported in Suite CRM automatically. I'm not demoing Salesforce. Now you can see here, okay? The email is sent. And actually it's taking the email template from the action that I mentioned. Do I have time? Yeah, couple of minutes if you want. I can just demo the other action quickly, because I mean, at the moment, it works with the, here, send email to an user, but it can also work with the send email to a contact. Okay, so let me save this one. And let me show you the difference between the two of them, because I don't know if I showed you already. So the difference between send email to an user, as I said, you select the user and you can see that this is the text and the message that I set up. The send email to a contact is gonna send the email to the contact's email address, and then we will say this, okay? So coming back, probably the last demo, let's try with Christina. Let me edit. So you see the email is gonna be my email as well. So the email is gonna be sent to me as well. So I go through the process again. Sorry for repeating the demo so much time. Okay, let me one more time trigger the Chrome and see if the second action, sending the email to the contact itself, works. So this is pretty useful when some of your customer moves from one state to another. So you want to automatic email them. So you can see Christina comes to the Mautic. Christina comes to the contact suite CRM, and then I come here and, okay, not working. Anyway, perfect. Almost 50% of the demo went well. I guess I didn't forget anything. I guess I went through for all the stuff that I wanted to show you. As I say, this is for a sales pipeline, but you can change this for a help desk, for example, for tickets. You can email your ticket contacts. I don't know. There's endless possibilities here, okay? So let me come back quickly to the presentation. I hope that you are still seeing this. So roadmap. We really want to try rules module. I've seen that there is some activity in the module lately. So we are gonna get in contact with the maintainers and we are gonna see if we can just add rules and a new beautiful interface in React, you know, for the Kanban board and for the, you know, generation of the actions. I don't know. So this is more or less in our roadmap. Also the integrations. At the moment, we are working in the Odoo integration because we are using it internally in my company, but also we have a couple of customers in the Middle East that they are using it. And actually we have a customer in Manila, it's called Transcom, transcom.com. And they are also really interested in a new CRM with this possibility. So yeah, so and the other integration is Rocket Chat. We are using it actively in my company as well, and it has endless possibilities, you know, for this integration. Meaning that again, when you move one contact from one state to the other, then you can notify people, you know, immediately in Rocket Chat. So this can be really cool. Okay. Some research and innovation that I did is some other flow decision diagrams. So you can see that there are like a few frameworks in JavaScript, like to generate these flows in a really cool way. And we're still investigating which one is the more suitable for these levels of automation that we want to have in Amoeba CRM. Quickly, yeah, let's go to questions. Let me do this because I can't see my pointer. Where is the chat? Here, right? Okay. Great. Yep. Any question here so far? We have one question from Floris. Is there any plans to integrate with the contacts module? Good question. Actually, it's one of the things that so we can clean dirty contacts from social media. Exactly. Yeah, this was one of the things that we discussed in the DrupalCon in Amsterdam. We did a BOF related to CRMs. And yeah, our idea is to unify the contacts entity. There is a custom entity that we created for Amoeba CRM and replace it with the official contacts module. So let me quickly show you what is this about so you understand. So it's an entity specific for contacts and is fully supported by Johnny Boy and these people that they did the CRM in Drupal 7, but they are working in the Drupal 8 as well. So yeah, totally, this is in the roadmap, and I forgot to put it in the presentation because it was not specifically related to the automation, but yes, it's better to have a consistent data structure. Yeah, thank you for the question, Floris. Questions, anyone else? I hope that you enjoyed the presentation. I mean, it's a personal project. We take it seriously. So I hope that you like how it's getting in shape. And if you want, you can go to Amoeba CRM and you can download the module. You can install it using Composer as usual. The module is supported by the Drupal agency, Ninja Coders, and O40 Lab, that is a Florist company. And yeah, we are actively pushing this forward. We are open to suggestions. If you have any problem, just come to me, drop me a line. We are really looking forward for people using it. And yeah, so yes, the latest code base is going to be merged, and we are trying to make it be covered by the security advisory. So yeah, so there's a lot of stuff to do already, but yeah, but we are optimistic that this is going to be stable and ready to go live pretty soon.
Amazing. Thank you, Ruben.
Thank you, everyone.
I was writing down questions, but every time you go to the next slide, it's getting answered. So, it's really great. All of my questions were answered by each slide, especially the roadmap and the integration. I was actually going to ask also about that specific module. So it's really great. And I guess just one comment from me. I was really excited with it because we were thinking of having something like this, even with the organization of DrupalCamp. We wanted to have something like this in the DrupalCamp website. And I could see this as one tool for folks. Okay, so it's really, really great. Thank you very much, Ruben. If there are no more questions, that's a really awesome way to close out DrupalCamp Manila. Feel free to post your questions to Ruben. Probably some of you guys will have more questions later on after appreciating this tool and module. So with that, this is the last session, and I let me just stop the recording for the presentation.